We are coming up on a crucial election here in the United States. Are you prepared to navigate the days coming up? Hey, Provident Preppers, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Kylene. And we are only a few weeks away from a pivotal presidential election here in the beautiful United States of America. And this election could actually change the course of history throughout the world. So while we're trying to avoid anything political, this isn't a political format, but we encourage you to exercise your right to vote.
That's right. I talk to a lot of people who just say, I'm not even going to vote because my voice doesn't make a difference. And I totally disagree. Our voices all make a difference. We need the opinions of everyone. We all need to be active in this process and we need to participate. So study the issues, figure out the candidates, figure out what works for you, what's in alignment with your moral views and your political views, and then make sure you vote.
And because of how critical this presidential election is, there is a pretty big risk of civil unrest around. So the point of our video today is, are you ready to handle civil unrest if that's what happens? Now, first, we encourage everybody to act civilized and not to do any of that. It doesn't do any good, but just in case there are some people who didn't get the message and aren't being kind one to another, are you ready? What are you doing to get ready? So the first thing that we would encourage you to do, and that we are doing, this is all stuff that we're looking at and we're planning, and so we're just inviting you in to our little thought process here. But can you avoid densely populated areas where civil unrest is more likely to occur? So right now, right around the election, it's probably not a good time to go on some big trip. I would stay a little bit close to home right now. Identify the safe havens. If there's political unrest around you, where could you go to be safe? Do not participate in any of the nonsense or violence. We are so much better than that. Make sure that you are following all the laws. And while it's just fine to wear clothing that might represent one candidate or the other, right around this time probably isn't the best time to do that, right? If you've got rivalry college football teams, that's some good fun that you can have, but now might be a good time to avoid it. If you have the opportunity to safely evacuate and to leave, it might be a really good idea to do that, which means that you need to have your go bag ready. You need to have some cash and credit cards that work and a vehicle that the tank is more than halfway full of gas. And you need to have a planned destination, a place to go, and whoever is hosting you is expecting you and has the resources to be able to do that.
Of course, in my opinion, by far the best thing to do is to hunker down, to shelter in place, and making sure that you have the ability to be safe there. Make sure you lock your doors, make sure you have food and water and the things that you need just to be able to lay low for a little while and stay out of the mess.
And like we've been doing, we've been trying to create more of a safe haven for our homes, something that's a bit more of a fortress, so that it's not an appealing target for would-be thieves or someone who wanted to cause harm, and that it's just, you know, our window film, our security cameras. You might not have time to do all that right now, but look at your home and see what you could do to fortify it a little bit. Number 3, have you identified trusted sources where you can get your information from so that you can keep track of what is happening with the rioting, places that you need to avoid? Seriously, if you can avoid it, it really is best just to stay home, but you need to know what's going on out there. So figure out where you can get that information.
Number 4, are you prepared mentally and emotionally? And this is a huge thing that we need to work on a little bit. We used to play a game with the kids, and we still do. It's the what if game. And in this what if game, we propose scenarios and we take the fear out of it by emphasizing the things that we can do and how we can act.
And it might be a game when we're talking about with the kids, but think about this realistically. You've got somebody pounding on your door or breaking one of your windows. What could I do? How could I handle this situation and come up with different scenarios and plans so that you're not emotionally all involved, you've already thought it through, you know your plan, and you can execute that plan.
And because we've thought about all that, then we can have a level head. There's an old saying that a soft answer turns away wrath, and that is just so important in our interactions with each other. If we choose to bring it down, generally others will too. Just do whatever you can do to diffuse the situation and be part of the solution.
And number 5, are you prepared spiritually so that God can direct your paths? I personally think this one is incredibly important because when everything in the world is out of control, God is in control and He has power over everything. That means that we need to learn to pray, that we need to be able to draw down the powers of heaven to help us, that we need to be spiritually sensitive to the Spirit so that when it directs us to do something, we obey promptly and with exactness, because there is great power in listening to the promptings of our Heavenly Father.
Number 6, and this is probably my favorite because it involves community, and that is being prepared to help others who are in need. If we're divided, we're not going to do very well, but together we can thrive and we can make good things happen. We can uplift and encourage others, and we can make sure that everybody's okay.
Which means that you are part of the solution. And so many of the emails that we got after the recent hurricanes, we were so excited for our viewers because they were able to handle these situations. And then they went out and they blessed the lives of their neighbors, whether it was mucking out the homes or sharing resources or supplies. That is exactly what we need to do. And when it comes to civil unrest, we may need to band together and protect each other. For those of you who have joined us for the 3-month preparedness challenge, where week by week we've had one focus, a prep focus, to get physically prepared, congratulations, we are so proud of you. We've only got just, I think, 2 more. And you can go back and repeat the challenge and every time get better and better. And while those physical preps are important, personally, I think that being spiritually prepared and having that strong relationship with God is the most important prep that we can have. We need to do cheerfully, do all that we can do, and then let God handle the rest.
Now for the question of the day. What force for good can you be? What can you do to help those around you? Not only vote, but also to be part of the...
Voting is important.
It is.
Voting is
It's
important.
truly important, but also to be part of the solution regardless of what happens. Let's be a positive force for good out there. Let's make good things happen and be kind and loving. Even to those who we disagree with, we can still find common ground and do things to bless lives. Thanks for being part of the solution.